Most men think attraction is built through performance. The right lines. The right clothes. The right timing. They treat women like judges sitting behind a table, silently scoring them on charisma, confidence, and charm. And that is exactly why they lose. Because the moment you believe attraction is something you must earn through performance, you hand over your center. You stop living. You start auditioning. Women can feel that immediately. Not because they are psychic. Because human beings are wired to detect incongruence. Desperation leaks through behavior like water through cracked concrete. The over-explaining. The instant replies. The subtle need for validation hidden beneath politeness. Most men are not rejected because they lack value. They are rejected because they radiate psychological dependence. And dependence is heavy. You were never meant to chase approval like a starving man begging at locked doors. The uncomfortable truth is this. The men women obsess over are rarely the men trying hardest to be liked. They are the men whose lives already possess direction, gravity, and emotional containment. Attraction is not created through pursuit. It is created through tension. And tension only exists when there is distance between desire and certainty. Most men destroy that tension instantly. They reveal everything too fast. They overinvest too early. They make a woman the center of a life that had no center before she arrived. Then they wonder why the energy changes. Why she pulls away. Why interest fades after the initial excitement. But attraction does not survive emotional collapse. It survives mystery, restraint, purpose, and emotional self-control. So if you truly want women to chase you, you need to understand 3 rules most men will never have the discipline to follow. Not because the rules are complicated. Because they require transformation. The first rule is this. Stop making women the mission. This is where most men quietly destroy themselves. They build their personality around female attention without realizing it. Every decision becomes calculated around attraction. How they speak. How they dress. What they post. What they tolerate. Their entire identity becomes reactive. And reactive people are never powerful. Look carefully at nature. Nothing with real gravity chases frantically. The sun does not run after planets. The mountain does not beg to be admired. Strong structures create pull through stability. The same is true psychologically. A man with purpose generates emotional weight. A man without purpose becomes emotionally weightless, floating toward whoever gives him temporary validation. Women are not attracted to obsession. They are attracted to direction. That does not mean becoming cold. It means becoming anchored. Most men wake up and subconsciously ask, how do I get women to want me? The self-aware man asks, what kind of life makes me impossible to ignore? That is an entirely different psychology. One is built on scarcity. The other is built on construction. You can feel the difference instantly. The desperate man rearranges his schedule for attention. The disciplined man protects his time because his life actually matters to him. The desperate man fears silence. The disciplined man understands silence creates intrigue. The desperate man seeks emotional reassurance. The disciplined man creates emotional safety by remaining internally stable. Women chase men who are difficult to emotionally possess. Not because those men play games. Because they have a life larger than validation itself. And that is rare. Especially now. Most people are psychologically available to everyone and committed to nothing. Constantly online. Constantly reacting. Constantly exposing every thought and emotion like an open wound. Mystery disappears. You become attractive by becoming grounded enough to stop performing. The second rule is harder. Control your emotional leakage. This is the rule almost nobody wants to hear because it forces you to confront yourself honestly. Most attraction dies through unmanaged emotion. Not emotion itself. Unmanaged emotion. There is a difference. A man who feels deeply but controls himself is powerful. A man controlled by every impulse becomes exhausting. Most men panic the moment uncertainty appears. One delayed text and their mind spirals into insecurity. One moment of emotional distance and they begin chasing reassurance. They overtext. Over-explain. Over-pursue. Why? Because they are not reacting to the woman. They are reacting to the fear she exposed inside them. And women notice this immediately. Not consciously, perhaps. But emotionally. Human beings trust emotional stability. We are drawn toward people who can regulate themselves under pressure. The same way passengers trust a pilot who remains calm during turbulence. But most men become emotionally chaotic the moment attachment appears. They confuse intensity with connection. Listen carefully, obsession is not evidence of love. It is often evidence of emptiness. That changes everything. Because now the question is no longer, how do I keep her interested? The question becomes, why does uncertainty destabilize me so deeply? That is where transformation begins. The self-aware man does not suppress emotion. He masters it. He observes it without immediately obeying it. He does not demand reassurance every time discomfort appears. He understands attraction requires emotional space to breathe. Imagine holding sand in your hand. Grip too tightly and it escapes through your fingers. Hold it with steadiness and it remains. That is attraction. Most men suffocate what they desire by trying to secure it too quickly. And underneath that behavior is fear. Fear of abandonment. Fear of inadequacy. Fear of being forgotten. But fear creates needy behavior. And needy behavior quietly destroys respect. You cannot build genuine attraction while emotionally kneeling. This is why discipline matters so much. Not gym discipline alone. Psychological discipline. The ability to sit with uncertainty without collapsing into reaction. The ability to maintain your routines, your focus, your mission, even when emotionally triggered. That is rare strength. And rare strength creates rare attraction. The third rule is the one that changes everything. Become difficult to replace. Most men try to compete through appearance or attention. But attention is cheap now. Everyone is available. Everyone is reachable. Everyone is talking. Scarcity no longer comes from access. It comes from depth. A man becomes unforgettable when his presence affects reality itself. When conversations feel sharper around him. When people feel calmer, more alive, more understood in his presence. When his standards alter the emotional atmosphere of a room. That kind of presence cannot be faked. It is built. Brick by brick. Through competence. Through silence. Through self-respect. Through experience. Through suffering properly endured instead of constantly avoided. Most people today are fragments pretending to be whole. Distracted. Addicted to stimulation. Terrified of stillness because stillness forces self-confrontation. But the man who can sit alone without needing constant validation develops something dangerous. Clarity. And clarity changes how you move through the world. You stop trying to impress. You stop negotiating your standards. You stop over-explaining yourself. You stop begging for reciprocity. Not because you became arrogant. Because you finally understand your value does not increase through persuasion. A woman chasing you is not the goal. Becoming a man whose life naturally creates attraction is the goal.